Welcome to the Bearcat Coaches Show. I'm here with head men's tennis coach Brett Simpson. Coach, your team has an ITA preseason ranking of number 13 in the nation to start off the season, as well as being picked third to finish in the Peach Belt Conference. What can you say about your team's chemistry early on here in the season?
Oh, I think we're working hard. Those rankings are. I think we can do better than both of those rankings. I think we can be a definite top 10 team in the nation, and hopefully a better than third team in the conference. But it's going to be tough. We've got some tough teams ahead of us to beat. So we know that. We've got that in our minds, and we're working hard to make sure we maximize, especially towards the end of the season.
Your team is going to be traveling to the city of Florence, the Dr. Eddie Floyd Tennis Center. You know about that place all too well. Some of the guys have been there, some of them haven't. What are your expectations for the team and to start off the year in the tournament?
Yeah, we've been there. I think this is maybe our fifth or sixth time going to this event. We've won it all but 1 year. So we're definitely trying to win it again. There'll be some good teams there, some Conference Carolinas, some SAC teams. I think one team from out of region also. So, one match at a time. We open up with Coker, and we just take one match at a time, and hopefully we get to the final and take care of business.
Yeah, what are some players and some names that we should be looking out for this season?
Yeah, well, hopefully a lot of them. But we've got Hugo Regniers, and nationally ranked singles player. So I think we've got a couple guys that can probably break in the rankings. They'll have some opportunities against some high-ranked teams and high-ranked opponents. So, those type of matches determine a lot of rankings. Doubles, we've got a couple good teams that have chances to be ranked. We've got a doubles team returning from last year who are still together right now, Marcus Sorensen, Nick Beamish. They didn't play together in the fall, but they're back together in the spring, and Hugo Regnier and Matthew de Groot, who are actually ranked. So I think we've got opportunities there to get ranked, but we've got several doubles combinations that could have success.
Coach, thank you for your time, and thank you, as we'll have more of the Bearcat Coaches Show after these messages.
You've envisioned it before, your future. It's big and it's bold. Now, it's time to make it happen. Our experienced faculty and friendly staff work to provide a personalized and supportive academic experience that most institutions cannot match. Lander University offers fast, flexible, and affordable online and graduate programs for those who want to launch their career path to the next level. When you launch with Lander, the world will take notice. Learn more today at www.lander.edu.
Welcome back to the Bearcat Coaches Show. I'm here with golf coach Mark Riddle. Coach, during the fall season, men's golf had all top 10 finishes, including second place at Irish Creek. Leading the way was Linus Johnson. He was finishing first. The other golfers you expect to make a big impact this spring?
Yeah, we've got sophomore Gaston Edberg and freshman Edward Rahm. Both were impact players. We have a transfer that came in this past year also from Sweden, and Victor Larson. Victor had a great fall as well. So we expect those guys to really shine this spring.
Yeah, and how has the team been doing in the preseason as you prepare to start here in the spring?
Yeah, we just have fighting the weather right now, but everybody's working hard. We've got a couple of weeks left. We're trying to finish qualifying, have that done by the end of this week, first of next week, and then we'll be ready to go to Florida to play our first tournament.
On the women's side of things, two new faces were inserted in the fall lineups, Sakurako Tanaka and Kaisa Lindquist. What do they bring to the lineup?
Both players are really, really good. I think Kaisa's top 5 right now in the conference. I had a great fall. Sako as well. Both players that have basically just brought a big impact to our program right off the beginning of this year. So we're excited about them for the spring as well.
You also had All-America Hannah Stevens, who missed the fall, now back for the spring. What does she bring to the lineup?
Hannah's All-American. She's just a really, really good player. We're excited that we got her back. We missed her this fall. I know we had some really good tournaments this fall, and right now we're kind of in the thick of everything as far as the regions and everything. So
yeah, what are you looking for your women's team just a couple of weeks before you start up?
Hey, same situation. We leave this Saturday for Florida, play at Flagler, and the Slammer Squire is the name of the golf course. We've played there for conference several years in the past, but we're excited. We're ready to get the spring off.
Coach, thank you. First appearance on the Coaches Show.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have more of it after these commercials.
Break on the Lake offers a menu loaded with a wide range of delicious seafood and steaks, along with an amazing selection of handcrafted cocktails. From appetizers to soups and salads, Break on the Lake's food is served with an intimate space perfect for a cozy meal with family or a quiet date night. Whatever you're here for, you can always count on Break on the Lake for fresh seafood and a warm welcome from their team. Thanks to Sports Break and Break on the Lake, proud sponsors of Bearcat Athletics.
The women had 2 tough losses to Georgia College and Flagler last week and look to rebound this week against the Mountain Lions and Pacers. Let's hear from Coach G on what she thinks will be the keys for the games this week.
Here with head women's basketball coach Stephanie Gelhausen. Coach, you guys had a tough week last week after the 2 exciting wins the week before. What was the message to your team after having the highs of a couple weeks ago to dropping a couple games last week?
Well, I mean, we're a young team, and I think we kind of walked into the week thinking we had figured it out. It was a 4-game winning streak, and we learned that every single opponent that we face is worth the same respect no matter what their record is, because as we can see in this league, it's a lot of close games. But we learned a lot, and we handled some adversity. You know, I don't think anybody in the country is 100% healthy right now, but finding out a day before with starters being out for an entire game, that kind of thing, we had some adjustments made, but we talk a lot about just getting better every single day and focusing on the day in front of us now.
On Wednesday, you guys traveled to Georgia College, were able to keep it close for a little bit, but then it just seemed like they couldn't miss from 3 in the second and third quarter. Was that the difference in the game for you?
Oh, it was absolutely the difference in the game. And we had talked a lot about taking away those corner threes, and our execution of our defensive game plan wasn't really there. But credit to Georgia College. I mean, they were on fire for sure.
And then on Saturday, you guys showed some resilience once again. You were down 11 in the second half and was able to push it back to a 1-point game late in the fourth, but unfortunately wasn't able to find that clutch basket. You guys have shown that resilience multiple times throughout the season. What does it say about a young team to be able to come back like they do multiple times?
Oh, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's opportunities for us to learn and to grow, and to figure things out together every single day. I mean, we're a young team. I'm a young coach, and we've been in a lot of close game scenarios that we've been able to capitalize on and sometimes fall short, but all of it has given us an opportunity to grow and get better.
Tonight, Gordon came on the floor and provided an instant spark after missing 3.5 quarters. What did it show from her to be able to come on the floor midway through the fourth and seem like she not miss a beat and beat a Tanaya Gordon we know she can beat?
Yeah, I mean, Tanaya is really tough, and about 10 minutes before the game, she got a little sick, and any other player could have just hung up the shoes and said, it's not in it for me. And the whole time she was trying to get herself together so that she could play. And she knows how confident we are when she steps on the court. I'm ready to give her the ball and let her go to work.
Jakaya Parker, once again, starting to find her groove, has scored in double digits in I think 5 of the last 6, and then has been 1 and 2 in scoring in those last games as well. How does having that senior guard help impact the young guards of Tanaya and Quadesia during the game?
Oh, it's huge. Right now we're in the heart and the stretch of conference season, and man, it can be a drag and it can be physically exhausting. And she's one of the few players that we have that has that experience, and her adaptation within the offense and reading ball screens has really been something that we're trying to get our young ones to catch on to. But overall, how she takes care of her body and the focus that she comes in every day with is again something that I'm thankful that we have, because we don't have that experience with it.
You guys have 2 road games for the first time since the beginning of that 5-game stretch, and even at the end of that 5-game stretch, you had a home game on Monday. So really, it's your first road trip without a home game for a while, I think since December. What's the message to your team as you prepare for 2 road trips this week in conference play?
Well, we're taking it one day at a time. We've got 1 road trip here tomorrow. We've got 1 day of practice today to prep for them, and we'll talk about that second road trip here after Wednesday.
Coach, we're excited to see you guys play. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
If you're looking for a place to enjoy good eats and good times, look no further than Sports Break. Great food, friendly service, and a fun atmosphere have been on the menu since 1990. So bring the family by for lunch, stop in to watch a game, or enjoy a late night with friends with some cold drinks while listening to live music at Sports Break.
The number 2 ranked wrestling team continued to dominate the mat last week, picking up 2 wins over Lincoln Memorial and Coker. The Bearcats will hit the road on Wednesday for a huge duel against rival Newberry. We checked in with Coach LaHaye to hear what he had to say about the team heading into a key stretch of the season.
Back here on the Bearcat Coaches Show, I'm here with head wrestling coach R.C. LaHaye. Coach, you guys had a pretty dominant week last week, took down Lincoln Memorial and Coker. Lincoln Memorial, you guys wrestled a bunch of backups. How did you rate the performance of your young guys against Rail Splitters?
It was good overall. The guys wrestled hard. I think, went out, dominated, and it was good for some backups to get some mat time.
And then on Coker, you guys had your full lineup for the first time all season. How did it feel to finally have your top 10 wrestlers out there on the mat?
Yeah, it felt good. The guys really wrestled hard, and it's good just to get everybody healthy and in the lineup and firing at the same time.
And now you look ahead to 2 matches that will decide the conference title, looking for your second consecutive one. You start off heading up Highway 34 on Wednesday to face Newberry. What's the message to the team heading into the matchup against the Wolves?
Well, our guys are fired up. It's really a chance to wrestle like it's the postseason. The guys, one of our goals, win a conference championship, win an NCAA Super Region championship, and we got to get through Newberry and Pembroke to do that.
And then looking ahead to Pembroke, a top 25 team in the nation. How can you guys wrestle on Wednesday and then take that into next week facing the Braves at home?
Well, we've wrestled a tough schedule. We've wrestled arguably the toughest schedule in the country up to this point, and our guys are battle-tested, and we're ready to go.
Coach, best of luck. Can't wait to see you guys on Wednesday. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
Open since 1959, the Dixie Drive-In is home to the Dixie Cheese. A short-order restaurant with a family-friendly atmosphere, the Dixie Drive-In offers comfort foods like burgers, fries, and sweet tea. Located across the street from the Jeff May Complex at 600 Montague Avenue, be sure to plan your post-game meal at the Dixie Drive-In.
We're just a week away from the start of acrobatics and tumbling this season. The Bearcats were picked to finish 6th in the Conference Carolinas. Hear from Coach DeSpaltro as she gives us a preview of the season.
We're here with head acrobatics and tumbling coach Sarah DeSpaltro. Coach, last year you guys made the national championships, and you're only your second season of existence. How does that set you on your timeline that you were expecting when you started here at Lander 3 years ago?
Yeah, so we just put in a lot of hard work over the last couple years, and I wasn't anticipating that we would do that, but it was just something that the girls proved that they were capable of doing. And going into our 3rd season, we are extremely, extremely well prepared. Of course, we've had a couple hiccups here and there, but what team hasn't? But I would say, yeah, we're definitely ready to keep going.
You guys were selected as the host for the Conference Carolinas Acrobatics and Tumbling Championship this season. How does having that event in Horn Arena make you guys more excited for this year?
So it has been a lot of mixed emotions. We are very, very, very excited to be hosting. It's definitely provided a lot more of motivation with the athletes as well, because of course, we only have 4 people in the conference championship that actually compete during conference championships. So with having so many schools in our conference, it's definitely given them more motivation to work hard, and they've really been putting in the work to be able to compete here at home for that.
And you guys had 3 athletes named to the athletes to watch list by the Conference Carolinas. What can we expect from them and then any other people on your guys' team this season?
So there's a lot of greatness, honestly, all over our team. And watching anybody is really going to be really interesting. But those 3 that we did talk about, Avery is a sophomore, and she is a really, really strong base. She's only in her 2nd year. She was one of our athletes that went to nationals last year. She will just be contributing a lot within the basing aspect, a lot of really, really difficult skills. Ryan has really updated her skill set as well, but she is more of a top, and that was a little bit more of a difference. But from last year to this year, she kind of changed positions. And she's really, really excelled at being a top. And she'll actually be this year competing a skill that we have never competed yet so far in Lander history. So that's going to be really, really fun to watch. Whitley is a junior, and she had a very, very long journey to get to where she is, and she has come from being really limited and wasn't able to do a lot for the last couple of years, and she flourished this year and was able to fully be cleared and do everything that she needed to do, and so now she's a really, really heavy starter for us.
Coach, thank you. We're excited to see you guys compete in Horn Arena and compete for our conference championship. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
We're here with head baseball coach Jason Burke on the Bearcat Coaches Show. Coach, I guess before we start talking about the upcoming season, which we're all excited for, if you don't mind just kind of going back and kind of going through your thoughts on how last season went. I know it ended a little shorter than you probably would have, but a good series against a very strong Columbus State team in the PBC tournament is where things kind of ended for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we just had too many injuries last year to really overcome. But I thought my guys played really hard. I thought they went down to the tournament and showed very well versus a really good Columbus State team, and they were one win away from going to the World Series. And I love the grit and tenacity that they showed down there, knowing that we were missing a lot of key contributors. Excited to hopefully have a lot healthier squad this year and, rise in the PBC rankings and maybe not get such a tough matchup right out of the gate in the tournament this year.
And speaking of this year's PBC slate, picked to finish 7th. Bit of bulletin board material, but Connor Droz named to the All-PBC team in the preseason after finishing as the Freshman of the Year. You also lost All-PBC first team infield Vinny DeRubius. Just kind of take us through how this year's squad looks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're excited about having Droz back. I mean, anytime you're welcoming back an all-conference player, but, the PBC Freshman of the Year, somebody's going to be excited about that. Droz has looked phenomenal in the preseason right now. The biggest thing for us moving into this season, is making sure that we're in the right mindset. I think it'd be really easy for us to come out and kind of feel sorry for ourselves last year. And, the big thing is, I've been telling them we got to earn it and we got to prove everything. And, the 7th place PBC ranking, we finished 8th last year. I think that's going off of last year's record and how we showed more so than anything, but again, we want to earn it. And get way higher up into those standings. We want to prove a lot of people wrong this year. And I think I got a team that wants to do that as well.
And obviously a team with a lot of returners. You got Landon Dupert, Ian Jenkins for pitching-wise. You got Nick Foray, Bennett Sloper, Zach Pellegrino. A pretty veteran group coming into this year. How can something with all that experience really help you, not only to begin the season, but especially once you start getting into the nitty-gritty and you're playing your conference schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I think, experience is something that you can't coach. I mean, people say that all the time. And, having someone like Dupert who's been in the lineup for a long time, and even Droz, who, became a mainstay last year and obviously put up a great season. And like you mentioned, Jenkins and Ethan Wilder and Nick Foray on the mound and Bennett Nance on the mound and Bennett Sloper. We got a lot of guys that have a lot of innings under their belt. And, that ABs and innings. And, I think that can do nothing but help us as we move into this season. But again, different team, different year, different mindset. Again, we're coming out here trying to prove something right off the get-go and trying to make sure that our guys earn the respect that they deserve instead of just thinking someone's going to hand it to them.
And obviously a lot of transfers coming in, not only Division I, Division II, but some junior college kids. Who are some names that, for those who are watching the program, who are some of those names that you think will really start to shine?
Yeah, I mean, on the mound we brought in 2 transfers. We brought in Cooper King, and we brought in Evan Demarius. Both were Division I transfers. One's from NC State, one from North Carolina A&T. Both those guys have showed very, very well. We'll start both of those guys rolling into the season. If we need to obviously have some veteran presence in the bullpen, we would possibly do something to make sure we have that. But both those guys have showed really, really well. On the diamond, Chris Manriguez has had a great spring inter squad, so I've been hitting the ball very, very well. He can play third. He can play first base. Jackson Hoshire is a junior college outfielder transfer who showed very well. 2, he will play some center field, right field, and left field at times this year. Probably bounce around a lot. But super excited about some of the guys who, were here last year that maybe didn't get some time last year as well. Will McClellan's been really good at the plate. Him and Tyler Perrell will split most of the catching duties. Oliver Zone has showed exceptionally well. Zone can play the outfield and can play a little bit of infield. Provides a little spark in the leadoff spot and is left-handed, can run. So I'm really excited about, the unit as a whole and definitely the new guys that popped in.
Obviously, the season starts with a 3-game series against Erskine, a team picked to finish in the top 5 of Conference Carolinas. Going into the series, how do you think you guys are going to fare against an Erskine team that you seem to start the year off with, on a yearly basis these days?
Yeah, I mean, Erskine's obviously our rival. I mean, they're 20 minutes down the road. You never know what's going to happen in rivalry games. There'll be a lot of energy, I can tell you that. There'll be a lot of that from both sides. Both sides want to win. I think Erskine's done a phenomenal job of becoming a better program. I think their coaching staff does a good job with recruiting. They've brought in a lot of junior college players that can jump right in and help them. So it'll be a really good test for us right out of the gate, getting a good Conference of the Carolinas team in here. And then we got Lincoln Memorial right after them, which is another good SAC team. And that's by design. We want to play teams that are pretty good. They can come in here and challenge us. That way we're ready for the PBC slate when we get to Buford and Columbus State.
And obviously a phenomenon that's sweeping across the nation, Banana Ball. Got 2 former Bearcats this year playing for the Savannah Bananas. They're no longer playing collegiate ball. They're going full bore with what they like to call Banana Ball, the fun, the wacky, the zany, sometimes insane. But Jack Fox and Vinny DeRubius are going to be joining the Bananas down in Savannah, going on the world tour this year.
Yeah, I'm super excited for both of them, man. I mean, Jack Fox has been playing, some indie ball, played in the Australian Winter Baseball League. I think he's just now finishing right now, actually, there. Vinny DeRubius played for us last year, was our MVP, our captain, was an all-conference player. And then he had a freak injury where he got hit by a ball off his bat into his eye and actually didn't lose that eye but lost vision in that eye. So his story's really, really cool, man. I mean, he had every reason in the world to give it up, to not play. Ended up getting invited to their pro workout, their tryout for the team pretty much. Got offered a spot on the team, and we're sad that he's gone and not on our coaching staff anymore. But God, I'm super thrilled for him to have a platform to share his story with the world. And Jesse Cole, the owner of the Bananas, played for me at Wofford. Dear friend of mine, love what he does. I'm trying to bring more interest to the game and trying to get a different crowd of baseball fans. So just super excited for both those guys. I'll definitely be at a game to watch Jack pitch and Vinny take some hacks.
Thank you so much for your time, Coach. Season starts later this week.
You've envisioned it before, your future. It's big and it's bold. Now, it's time to make it happen. Our experienced faculty and friendly staff work to provide a personalized and supportive academic experience that most institutions cannot match. Lander University offers fast, flexible, and affordable online and graduate programs for those who want to launch their career path to the next level. When you launch with Lander, the world will take notice. Learn more today at www.lander.edu.
Back here on the Bearcat Coach Show with Kevin Skoll. This is the first year that Lander has had a track and field program. How have the athletes been preparing in the fall and the winter in preparation for the spring?
We got a lot more conditioning work done throughout the fall. Starting to get them ready. Now we're starting to move into the more technical aspects of the sport. Starting to work on block starts a lot more, things like that.
Let's go discipline by discipline. What has stood out in the preseason for your sprinters?
For the sprinters, it's been Micah Davis is looking great on the men's side. He could handle the 100, the 2, and the 4. He's looking excellent. On the women's side, we have she's actually a senior, came over from a soccer team. Reagan Hunter has been phenomenal, and looks like she's going to be very good in the 100 meters this year.
You double as the cross-country coach.
Yes.
So you've worked with some of these mid-distance and distance runners during the cross-country season. How have they transitioned to getting ready for
they're really embracing it. You have Missy O'Toole on the women's side has really looked forward to the idea of she's going to try the steeplechase once we get to outdoor season. And on the men's side, it's been Riley Bird, Ethan Waits are really starting to focus on becoming half-milers. That'll be a lot of fun to watch those guys.
What can we expect from the field athletes this season?
The women's throwers are looking absolutely excellent. Caroline Smith looks phenomenal. Addie Davis is going to be excellent for us in the javelin and the hammer. And on the men's side, Gage Kakuka should be one of the better high jumpers in the conference.
Nice. You guys have 4 regular season meets before you get to the PBC championships in Daytona Beach. What have you seen from your team, or what do you want to see from your team in the meets leading up to conference?
Those meets are just, they're extra workouts to me. It's just we're going to work through our reps, get as many in a competition setting as we can, and then hopefully peak at the right time in the end of April.
Coach, thank you for your time as
always.
And thank you guys for watching this week's edition of the Bearcat Coaches Show.